Hi, I'm Morgan. I'm a vegan life and wellness coach, and today I'm joined by Nazlee Mayhew. She is a money mindset coach, and today we're going to talk about money mindset and how that can intertwine and connect with lifestyle stuff and veganism. So thank you for joining us today, Nazlee.
Thank you very much for having me here today, Morgan. It's a pleasure.
It's my
to be
pleasure.
here.
I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about you and your coaching.
Thank you. As you've introduced me, I'm a money mindset coach, and I help female coaches and consultants remove their success blocks so that they can upscale their business. And many times we get involved in our business in the day-to-day activities, and we organize lives on Facebook, or we reach out to clients, to come on board and work with us. We network. There's various things within a business that we do, and sometimes we find that we're working hard and we're preparing content, we're paying for Facebook ads, and we're just not moving the needle in our business. And that's where I come in.
Mm-hmm.
To start off with, we've got to first make the shift from an employee mindset, because the majority of us would have been employees, to a business mindset. When we're at work, you get given a job description and you've got 15 things that you need to do, and you do them on your own to the best of your ability. You ask for training as and when it's needed, and your employer will guide you. Sometimes you may come up with ideas and they say, nope, that's not what we want to have. And so, you then just leave it behind. But when you become an entrepreneur, it's totally different, because you're depending on yourself. So you've got to make that shift so that you're now a lot more flexible, you're adaptable, you're creative, you're innovative, you problem solve. If you come up with an idea, you try it. And if it doesn't work, then you tweak it. At this point in time, the word pivot comes up quite a lot, is that you need to make the change, and you're also not afraid to make those changes. I think that's one of the big things, that if you create your niche and you find it's not working or it's not aligned with your goals, you can change it. So that's all to do with your mindset. And then the money comes in terms of our beliefs. When we are growing up, we would have heard statements or stories from our parents, where I remember my mom saying, we can't afford it, or there's 3 other children we need to consider. It's we don't have money right now. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. We don't deserve to live a better life. It's only for the rich people. We'll never ever have that. And we don't realize, but these actually are carried with us throughout our life. And we make decisions every day based on our money beliefs. Do you think, I can't afford to buy that course, I'm going to download another freebie that's just going to sit on your computer, or watch yet another webinar, and you find after 10 minutes you're bored because you've watched so many of them. And if you think that you've got to invest in yourself in order to grow, you think, I can't really do that. It's I can't afford it, it's a waste of money. So these are the kind of things that hold us back. Whereas you believe that I'm investing in a coach, I'm working with somebody who can see my blind spots, who can guide me, who keeps me accountable, will help me with these kind of beliefs that we don't even know that they are holding us back. It can really help you, move forth in your business. They also cover things like fears. My fear was fear of success. When I'm successful, how will it affect my family life? What do my friends think? Will I lose my friends, and family? How will I manage money? Because it's also part of my own journey. I would receive money. I would plan for it. I would budget for it. I knew exactly what I was going to do with it, right down to the last penny. And when it came into my hands, I would just spend it. It was like a hot, a potato. I had to get rid of it. And by changing my story and my relationship with money, I found that I believe that money comes easily to me now. I respect it a lot more. I think twice. If I'm going to purchase something, I might wait a week or so before I decide to make that decision. And this has really helped me as well, in terms of the way you treat it and have money in your business. So these are the kind of success blockers that hold us back, because we're thinking, I'm doing everything right, but I'm just not moving forward in my business. It's also things like procrastinating or being a perfectionist. Hands up, I've overcome that as well.
All been guilty of some of these things.
Exactly. But when we're able to realize that this is what's holding us back, and you want to have something perfect before you put it out there, or you're afraid to go live because you feel people may judge you or reject you, And if you only had one like and you think, oh, nobody wants to listen to what I'm saying. But by
Yeah.
working through these fears and beliefs that are holding you back together with your money blockers, you find that you create this unstoppable mindset where if you find that something is not working, you can admit it to yourself. If you find that you're fearful of trying something different, whether it's a new program, Facebook Lives and Facebook itself, they've been changing a lot on their system without telling you. And it's only when you're trying to do something that you think, okay, this is not working, what can I do? But you get creative. You also tap into other groups and other women and, the business groups where you get a lot of support. So you also become aware of, I need some help, I will go and get it. So that's one of the shifts from being an employee where you've got 15 tasks on you and the fine print, and I've got to do it and I'm expected to meet these milestones and these KPIs at the end of the day. Whereas as a business person, you are depending on yourself, but you also say, let me reach out for help. Let me work with a business coach. Let me work with a marketing coach. Let me work with a social media coach. And even, in terms of yourself, working with a vegan and wellness coach, that's also part of health and well-being, which I think is an important part of our business in terms of getting that balance that we avoid the burnout. And why not starting with, with what you eat? I think that's one of the quicker ways in terms of managing your health quite easily, is that being aware of what you're actually eating and being mindful when you are eating as well. You're not just gobbling your food and getting back onto your laptop again.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk a little bit about veganism, but something I wanted to touch on that you mentioned that really stuck with me is that like employer, employee to entrepreneur mindset. And so many of us, we have these ideas, and I remember having ideas and seeing my bosses do stuff and me thinking, that's ridiculous. Like, you should do it this way.
Exactly.
And they dismiss it. And so you get used to that. So when you first come into entrepreneurship, you can almost be you want to validate those ideas. You still want to share, and you still are looking for someone to say that's a good idea or you should do that. And so that's definitely a mindset shift that you have to work through, that permission to make those choices for yourself and follow your intuition and let go of the fear. So so that was something that I connected with, because I was guilty of 100%.
And I think also what happens a lot of the times that our brains are designed to keep us safe. I always go back to the story of the caveman, of how he's got to be aware of this grizzly bear coming around. Today we're on keyboards and we're working online a lot more than that time. So if we think of a time where we made a suggestion to one of our bosses and we thought it was a brilliant idea and we knew that it would work, and you may have even shared it with a colleague and no, it's not going to work. When you think about doing that in your business, your mind goes back to, remember you tried it out and your boss said, no, it's not going to work, and you rejected. So you leave it. And it's only when somebody else comes with that idea, you think, oh, that's what I wanted to do,
Yeah, that was my idea.
Exactly. So you're right. Is that being able to give ourselves a permission? We don't have to wait for permission to go ahead, because it's our business, and it's based on our core values. It's based on our vision. It's based on our why and our passion, and we know what it is that we want to do. So, I definitely applaud anybody who wants to. It's not easy. It's can be a lonely journey sometimes, and that's where you've got to be able to think, who can I network with, in terms of people being like-minded, having within your circles, joining the right groups. I was able to bypass a lot of information about the COVID situation. If I wanted to find something, I will go to a medical professional, or look at what the Minister of Health was talking about, or the Prime Minister. But everybody having their own opinions and views is just going to take you down a rabbit hole. So also being quite disciplined, you avoid all that there, and it leaves you stress-free. So, definitely making the shift is good.
Yeah, well, and I think, you've been mentioning business, but it's not just business, right? Because these are things that you carry everywhere. You carry that into your personal life, or like you had mentioned, what you're eating and your health, right? You carry all these beliefs, and sometimes it can be really hard to justify, or that what you are doing is like that your health is important, right? A lot of the times people will sacrifice and they go and grab fast food, or they cut out sleep and they do all these things.
Exactly.
because they have these beliefs that
Mm-hmm.
they're not important, right? There's these other things that are bigger and better.
It's true, but you're right. It's all about finding the balance. It's not just working, on your business.
Mhm,
It's your personality that comes into it, because most of the time, as women, we're doing this for our families, our children. We want to leave a legacy for them. So it's
mhm,
pointless being, reaching your financial goals and burnt out. It's not going to help your family at all. So definitely having that awareness, knowing when to say, I've done enough, or I need to eat healthy, or this is my time for me to enjoy my meal and not rush through it, is quite
mhm.
important.
Yeah, and I think
Definitely.
I think people carry a lot of money blocks when it comes to veganism or investing in
Hmm.
their health, and whether that's, with a personal trainer, a coach, a meal plan, right? They get so stuck, right?
Exactly.
And they think
Hmm.
it's not worth investing in. What do you think that is?
Hmm.
Where does that come from?
I think primarily from the belief, one of the money beliefs or blocks is that only rich people can afford this lifestyle. So before, to have a personal trainer or to join a gym or to eat healthy was only seen, to be done by the rich people. And we that's only 5-10% of the world, so that's not for me. But even coming down to another point is that if you don't believe that you can achieve that goal, and what I've seen in my life with a lot of women who say go on diets, that are quick fixes, they
Yeah.
try so many of them, and you could lose some weight, but
Hmm.
when you go back to eating your normal food, you put the weight back on again. And so you blame yourself and you think, what's the point of trying something different? I'm going to fail. But it's not necessarily that you failed. It's just maybe that the meals that you are eating or those quick fixes weren't working for you.
Yeah.
But what people have to realize that it's a lifestyle change. So if you look at in terms of helping your children, to eat healthy, they can have them, the candy and treats every now and again, but it shouldn't be every day, because that's going
Yeah.
to affect their health in the long run. And if you think about your own health, in 5-10 years time from now, how healthy do you want to be if you continue eating in this way?
Yeah.
And it's not as expensive as, it could be. There are products out there that are expensive, and I've
Yeah.
seen them, but you can tweak them in terms of what you like. I enjoy eating spinach. That's quite reasonable. I enjoy eating carrots. That's also quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Whereas the artichokes that we might buy them once every 2 weeks, because those are a little bit more pricey. So it's just making those savvy decisions when you are going out. And yes, I know that the meal deals are a lot cheaper. It's also easier, if you're a busy mom and you've got 2 or 3 children and you're working, and it's a lot different to when our moms and grandmothers were raising us as children, demands that we have on ourselves today. But if you just take a step back and assess our life, even if it's working week to week, and that's where a coach can help you as well. They keep you accountable. Then what is it that I'm doing every day? What can I change this week that'll make a difference in my life in the long term?
Yeah.
So whether it's I eat chocolate every day or have ice cream every day, I can have them 2 or 3 times, and I don't even see it now as a treat, because also the words that are used in marketing and the gimmicks and all the fad diets that are out there is that
Yeah.
it's not a treat, and
No.
I shouldn't have to reward myself. And it's not a sin if I have any of those. So those things kind of play on us. And if we have a low self-esteem or low confidence, they will affect you a lot more. But it's
Yeah.
being able to build up your confidence and say, what can I eat today that's going to make me healthy? I will
Hmm.
take my time to eat it. I will enjoy what I'm eating. It's going to help me in the long run. I can sleep well at night because I don't have a bloated tummy. And you find that by making those tweaks and changes where you are spending, money on coffees every day, or,
Yeah.
donuts, things that you are buying that were sugary and not so healthy for you, that you can make savings in the long run. That you can say, I'm going to spend, I mean, you could spend an hour cooking on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for the whole week, because some people are bored by Wednesday. You just tailor it to how, to what suits you and your family. You could cook for 2 or 3 meals, or you could, and that'll save you some time during the week. Or you could spend time just cooking something different, that is healthy. And you
Yeah.
might not think that it's going to take you, longer than cooking a normal meal, because you've got a family to take care of. So I think it's worth investing in terms of speaking to a coach, like yourself, a vegan and wellness coach, who've got that knowledge. So you don't have to go on social media or on, Google or Pinterest, trying to find out what recipes are healthy for me and what should I eat and not eat. And, should I
Yeah.
have a handful of nuts or should I have a whole bag of nuts? Or, they've got the information, and they're trained to do that. So you've got them at your fingertips.
Yeah, well, and I think, stories, right? We've talked a little bit about stories and money stories, and there's a lot of money stories when it comes to veganism. And for most people, I don't think it's their story, right? It's
Yes.
something that they picked up from somewhere. And I think if you're in the supermarket and you are looking at, a beef burger versus a veggie burger, a lot of the times the veggie burger is more expensive. But the thing is, you don't have to eat that, right? There's other foods that you can do, and
Yes.
other things you can have, and ways
It's true.
to invest in yourself and your health. And that even comes to recipes online. I know sometimes I'll look up a recipe and it has these ingredients, and I'm like, who has these things?
Exactly.
Or everything has cashews and nuts in it, and I'm like, I am
Exactly.
not. I don't know who has all these nuts in their house, right? So I think there's just there's just a
It's
lot of
true.
beliefs and stories, right? People haven't had a chance to dig in and to find out how to do it in a way that makes sense for them, and that sometimes investing in a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance is going to go a lot further than somebody trying to, like you were saying, look up those recipes and think, okay, now I need 2 pounds of cashews and all this stuff. And they're like, I have a $600 grocery bill this week. So it's,
Exactly.
yeah, so there's definitely like tweaks and things that they can do to make things more affordable. But the first thing that they have to do is get over that mindset, that block on money and
Yes.
their beliefs.
Yeah,
So how do people
definitely.
start working through that? Is there a process that you recommend that you would go through with your clients to remove those blocks?
Yes, I would ask my client, what are your challenges? What are your goals? What would you like to change in your life? What behaviors are you tolerating? Sometimes it may be, a young child is like, mommy, I don't want to eat that. And think, oh, I'll just cook, the burgers and, just give it to them. But if you look at the outcomes and what it is that you want to achieve. So instead of thinking that this is expensive, I can't afford it, think about, well, I'm going to be eating healthy. I'm going to be able to sleep well. I'll be able to lose some weight. I'll be fitter and stronger. My family is going to benefit as well. My children, especially have women who have daughters, primarily, when they're growing up as well, is that they're eating healthy and they can make their own choices when they're older.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying feed your child just carrot sticks and hummus only, because there's more to life than that. But it's becoming more aware of ourselves, and it starts with the self-awareness, and it starts with our self-language. Many times we don't realize that, if we stop and think about the words we use on ourselves, you think, would I tell my best friend that? Would I say we're a lot kinder to other people than we are to ourselves? And that's where we become critical. And it could be from, being criticized when you were growing up as well, that you start doing the same thing. And that's when the perfectionism comes in, is that I have to get this perfect so that I don't, get criticized by, whether it was a parent, an aunt, or a teacher.
Yeah.
So when we become more self-aware of our thoughts and our feelings, we then tap into the beliefs. What beliefs am I holding that I learned, when I was growing up, that are not actually aligned with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They're not aligned with my own core values. This is not what I would like to have in my own family, and it's creating that difference in your family for them. So definitely, that's where it would start off. We look at your goals, the challenges you're facing and why, what can you do differently? What do you want to change? What do you want to keep? What do you love doing? What are you passionate about? So coaching is primarily asking a lot of questions, but it's being able to have that hour, with somebody who's non-judgmental, who's on your side, who's going to listen to you, will respect your tears, your silence, might give you a kick up the backside every now and again, just to get going, so they're there to help you, and they're helping you to transform your life. So definitely I would recommend having a coach. Yep.
Yeah. And something that you mentioned was like the whys and what you want to keep. And I think that's
Yes.
such an important part of coaching or any change in life, right? I think people think of it as being all or nothing. And it doesn't have to
Yes.
be, right? If there's parts of your life that you really value and you want to keep, you can hold
Yes.
on to those.
Exactly.
Got to think of what the ones that you have aren't serving you
Exactly.
and why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you have a Facebook group and you're
hmm
running a challenge right now. Can
That's
you tell
right.
me about your group and your challenge?
Thank you. I can leave the details below
Mm-hmm.
once we've posted on social media. But it's Nazlee Mayhew. You can find me on Facebook. My group is called, Master Your Money Mindset. It's for female coaches and consultants.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, I do add a lot more information that I would on my personal business page. It's almost like coming into the shop when the front is like my business page, and then going into the back and having a coffee and one-to-ones and sharing a lot more information. This week on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from the 3rd of June, that is, I'll be hosting a free 3-day challenge. And again, it's to do with money mindset as well. So it's helping you
Yeah.
identify those beliefs you spoke about earlier. There'll be exercises that we'll just dive in a bit deeper to make you think about your relationship with money and how you can change it. We also look at how you can create your own financial goals and set your strategy for the next 12 months so that you're more aware of what it is that you want to achieve and how you can do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hosting that this week.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome opportunity to kind of
Thank you.
jumpstart and get started.
That's right.
Yeah. I think, I think everybody carries around money blocks once in a while.
Yes.
And, I'm more aware through meeting you and in working with you, I'm more aware of it,
Thank
right?
you.
When I say to my daughter, or I say to someone like, we can't afford that, right? What type of effect that can have on her and what that story is for her.
Yes, because she doesn't truly understand, why we can't afford it, because I go
Mm-hmm.
to the grocery store. I remember my mom one time we went to the shops and I said to her, can you buy something for me? And she said, no. And I said, can't you use your checkbook? Because she's always writing checks, especially end of the month, got so many checks, we didn't have online banking, 20, 30, years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like, you're always writing checks. Why can't you write a check for me, So we wouldn't understand as children when you say we can't afford it. They don't know what your income is, or
Yeah.
that you've had loss of income, in the last couple of months, or you've increased it. But what you can do is you can say to her, we can't buy it yet.
Yeah. Today.
Yeah, today we can't buy it, so just bear with mom, and we'll think about it. And also a good concept we had with my son was, do you want it or do you need it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a difference of I just want. And that's kind of like, the society we live in today where, Christmas time, there's all these new toys that come out, but by January they're broken, left outside, and they're bored with them. And what do you need it for? And that's also just teaching them, in terms of the value of money is something that we're not taught when we're growing up. I remember my maths lessons, I was thinking, where would I use cosine and tangent and all this algebra and everything in my life, but if you had to learn it. Whereas if they taught me numbers, but if they taught me how to have a basic budget, I think I would have, learned a lot more than cosine and tangent. You just got no, no meaning in my life today. So it's these, some skills that would be quite useful, for children. So because they're not taught in school for whatever the reasons are, we can do it from home. Even if it's just teaching your daughter to save, $1 a week, or being grateful, that's another part of the money mindset is being grateful for the bills that we have. It's the end of the month, I'm grateful for my bills. Somebody's trusted me that I will pay my mortgage every month, they've given me that loan.
Yes.
That I'll pay my electricity at the end of the month, I'll pay my water, so I'm grateful for those bills. So even when they come to the door, I'm like, okay, this is good. And I'm also grateful that, if I have $5 left in my account, it's been a quiet month, that I can also celebrate I have that. If somebody says, well done, or, you've done something really, really good, I say thank you to them and I appreciate it, because as women, we we're quite good at giving, and
Yeah.
humans as well, men as well, it's not just women where we give all the time. But when it comes to receiving, and that's also one of the money blocks, we find it very difficult. So
Mhm.
if you're on a sales call and you think, okay, now I've got to tell Morgan about my prices. And what if she
Yeah.
says, no, am I going to offer a freebie or a discount, or I'll offer an extra 2 hours, extra as a bonus? Well,
Mhm.
actually, I just won't tell her about it, and she can make up her mind, afterwards if she wants to work with me or not. And that's because we will be receiving payment. We're quite happy
Yeah.
to work for an employer and build their business. But when it comes to paying ourselves, we think, oh, I don't really deserve this.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I think
definitely.
that's so common with coaches, right? It's a very
Yes.
common with coaches that they are not able to ask for what they're worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely a powerful thing to work through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also have a website? We talked about your Facebook group. Is there other ways that people can connect with you?
Yes, my website is www.nazleemayhew.com, where you can
Okay.
find a bit more information about me. I have testimonials on there with ladies that I've coached as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Facebook. Instagram, I don't really use that often.
Okay.
Pinterest, yes, I'm on Pinterest as well. I
Oh,
can send you the links.
I'll have to follow you there.
Thank you, thank you. But primarily, you'll find me on Facebook. That's where
Yeah.
I engage quite a lot and,
Okay. Okay,
connect with other
awesome. I'll,
women
I'll
as
be
well.
sure to put all the details below in the
Mhm.
description so people can
Thank you.
click over to you and find
Mhm.
you and, hopefully join your group and see
Mhm.
you and interacting with everybody and learn some stuff about money mindset.
Yeah, thank you. It'll
So,
be great.
yeah, so thank
Awesome.
you so much for joining me today. I think
Mhm.
I learned a lot. It was
Thank you.
to
Uh-huh.
have some things to contemplate and consider and self-reflect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
thank
Thank
you
you.
again, and I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you again. Thank you very much.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure
Bye.
talking to you. Thanks. Bye-bye now.